More than anything, I'm just itching to get back out on the court and kind of feel like myself again. And I've been putting in a lot of hard work, and I got USA basketball coming up, so looking forward to that too.
Yeah, I was happy to see you. Yes.
Yes, sir, Reg. Reg knows.
You get a couple Indiana.
Fans are going crazy about the WNBA's recent formal warning to Caitlin Clark regarding her NBC broadcasting contract. Due to a conflict of interest, the league that pays her $76,000 annually is attempting to regulate her multi-million-dollar side business. In the history of professional sports, Commissioner Kathy Angelberg just made the most disastrous choice for herself. Additionally, there is a nuclear retaliation. Let's examine why this warning could lead to the WNBA's total demise.
But Caitlin Clark, I'm curious though, because one of the things he said was like, I'm thinking in my mind, let's keep them quiet. Have you gone into a big game with literally that on your mind, like walking into the arena?
Well, I feel fortunate enough. A lot of the arenas we go into, a lot of people are cheering for our team, which is pretty nice.
Snap.
But there are some road games. I think even the Liberty fans, San Francisco, the Valkyries have a great crowd. Like, you want to take them out of it right away. You want to make them call the first time out. I think that's kind of what we always talk about. But that's what makes it fun. And I like what he said. If you're a star, like, these are the games you show up for. And that's really true. Like, these are the games that just mean a little bit more. Like MSG on a Sunday night. Like, that's what you get up for.
Before we dive into this mess, leave a comment and tell me, does the WNBA actually have any authority to caution Caitlin Clark about partnering with NBC? Or is this simply jealousy from a league that can't stand watching its biggest star rise beyond it? Alright, we need to break down what just unfolded because it's completely outrageous. Several insiders are confirming that the WNBA league office, under Commissioner Kathy Angelberg, has formally delivered a warning to Caitlin Clark concerning her groundbreaking agreement with NBC Universal. Not a congratulations, not a thank you for pulling the league back into relevance, but a warning, an official document advising her to tread carefully because her new broadcasting role could allegedly be seen as a conflict of interest. Take a moment to process that. The WNBA is pushing back against the very player who single-handedly drew national attention to the league. The same athlete who packed arenas, shattered ratings records, and made everyday sports fans genuinely interested in women's basketball. And they're doing it simply because she chose to lock in her financial security with a media deal that will earn her far more than the sport itself ever could.
See this last night, Fever superstar Caitlin Clark joining the NBC Sunday Night Basketball pregame show. She was a special contributor for last night's Lakers-Knicks game.
You can see her here alongside Pacers legend Reggie Miller. She is back on NBC March 29th when the Knicks play the Thunder in OKC.
To fully understand how absurd this situation is, you have to look at the financial reality behind it. Caitlin Clark earns around $76,000 per year under her WNBA contract, which is a five-figure salary and, in the world of professional sports, almost insignificant, less than what some team mascots reportedly make. Yet the WNBA has the audacity to suggest she shouldn't pursue millions from NBC because it might somehow distract from her basketball duties. They're treating a player they compensate at that level like an intern, as if they completely own her, as though she were LeBron James earning $50 million annually with strict exclusive commitments. The sense of entitlement is astonishing. The league is essentially saying, you belong to us. We come first. NBC is just your side job. But when that so-called side job pays 50 times more than your primary contract, it stops being a side hustle and clearly becomes the main career opportunity.
You want to go see Caitlin Clark tonight in Atlanta? You know what that's costing you? Right now on the secondary market, cheapest ticket, $296.
Wow. Okay.
That's bananas to me.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Like, I'm a Caitlin Clark believer, but that's $300 to go sit at the top of State Farm Arena?
That's wild. That's wild. So the dream...
There ain't a Hawks game.
Right.
That costs $300. I'm talking Steph's there, LeBron's there, KD's there. You don't pay $300 to get in?
I think that's true.
Is she the biggest draw in basketball?
No.
Yes.
No.
I just proved it to you.
Dude, I still like
She's the biggest draw in basketball. It's a Monday night in Atlanta, and she's going to sell out the arena, and it costs $296 to get in.
Caitlin Clark doesn't work for the WNBA anymore. It feels like the WNBA works for Caitlin Clark. She is the driving force behind that league's economy. She's the reason they secured a new media rights agreement. She's the reason attendance numbers surged. She's the boost that pulled them back from fading into obscurity. And instead of welcoming her with open arms and doing everything possible to keep her happy, they're trying to restrict her freedom. You don't manage a tiger by locking it in a cage. You end up losing the tiger entirely. Now let's address this so-called conflict of interest argument because it's an incredibly weak excuse. The league claims that since NBC broadcasts the NBA and Caitlin will be promoting the NBA, it somehow weakens her loyalty to the WNBA. Seriously? Promoting basketball benefits basketball. Simple as that. If Caitlin Clark appears on television every Sunday during NBA coverage or while reporting on the Olympics discussing the sport, that attention ultimately flows back to the WNBA. It's premium exposure you couldn't purchase even if you tried. But the WNBA seems so insecure, so worried that the NBA might overshadow them, that they're prepared to undermine their own progress just to make a petty statement. That's small-minded thinking. That's a losing attitude. That's how a league behaves when it's accustomed to being overlooked and doesn't know how to function in the spotlight. But here's the uncomfortable reality that mainstream outlets refuse to address. This warning didn't originate solely from attorneys and executives in boardrooms. It was fueled by pressure inside the locker room. It came from the established veterans. For months, there have been whispers about jealousy and frustration building beneath the surface. Players who have spent a decade grinding, competing overseas in places like Russia and Turkey, sacrificing their bodies for modest salaries, only to watch a young star travel by private jet, land 8-figure endorsement contracts, and now become a prominent face on NBC. That resentment is real. Sources indicate that the players' union and veteran leaders have been pushing the commissioner, arguing, "How is this fair? Does this make her a part-time player?" The league appears to be yielding to that pressure, issuing this warning to calm veterans who feel overshadowed. It's a message to the locker room. See, we're holding her accountable too. She's not above the league. But here's the hard truth Commissioner Kathy Engelbert needs to recognize. Caitlin Clark's impact currently surpasses the league itself. That's not hype. It's reflected in numbers. Look at the ratings, the attendance spikes, the merchandise revenue. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA likely returns to commercial flights and partially filled arenas. Without her, that reported $2.2 billion media rights agreement doesn't materialize. She's the catalyst. And you don't intimidate your catalyst. If the WNBA believes it holds the leverage here, that's a serious miscalculation. What's the plan? Suspend her. Imagine the backlash. The moment that happens, she becomes a symbol, and the fan base reaction would be immediate. Any current boycotts would pale in comparison to the massive fallout that would follow.
Fever Sky tickets dropped 71% on TickPick after Caitlin Clark injury. The get-in price for the Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever game was $86. After Caitlin Clark's injury announcement is now down to $25. And you Angel Reese fangirls will still believe and think that Angel Reese is the reason why people are watching the WNBA.
Imagine no one buying tickets. Imagine no one tuning in for the games. And here's the kicker. The sponsors aren't focused on the WNBA itself. State Farm, Gatorade, Nike, they're backing Caitlin. Their investment is in the athlete, not the brand. If the league confronts Caitlin, funding could vanish faster than anyone expects. The WNBA is risking its own survival. Let's examine the legal side. NBC Universal isn't a small operation. Comcast owns it. Their lawyers charge more per hour than the entire WNBA payroll. If the league attempts to block Caitlin from her NBC deal, they'll face lawsuits they can't handle. NBC didn't hire her to sit idle. She's the face of their basketball coverage. Plans are in place. The Olympics are approaching in LA. Ads are running. Do you think NBC will allow a minor league like the WNBA to dictate their schedule? Absolutely not. This is a clash between Godzilla and a gecko. The WNBA is armed with a knife against a nuclear war. It reflects a total failure in business judgment, and that's why disgraceful is trending online. Caitlin's camp remains publicly quiet, but sources report they are stunned, looking at the warning and asking, "Do you want us to walk away?" Because that's the message the league is sending. The message is clear. Caitlin is too big for them. They can't manage her success and won't let her grow unless it's under their control. That's a risky move when dealing with generational talent. Caitlin Clark has options. She could play in Europe for $5 million a year, launch her own league, or retire tomorrow and earn $20 million annually as a broadcaster and brand ambassador. She doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs her. It's alarming that leadership doesn't grasp this power balance. Consider what this communicates to the next generation. Paige Buchers and Guji Watkins are observing every move. They're seeing the pettiness, the warnings, and the lack of protection. Why would Paige join a league that restricts off-court earnings? Why would Guji invest her effort in a league that penalizes its stars? This isn't only about straining relations with Caitlin. It's about contaminating the league's future for years. The timing makes it worse. The warning came as NBC coverage peaked and excitement surged. Instead of the story being WNBA star dominates media, it became WNBA petty conflict continues. They ruin the moment. Every time Caitlin achieves something remarkable, the league manages to overshadow it with politics and small-mindedness. What comes next? Will Caitlin retreat? Considering her competitiveness and how she handles pressure, absolutely not. She's going to appear on NBC, hold that microphone, interview LeBron James, and dare the WNBA to act. She's calling their bluff. When that happens, the league faces two options: suspend her and cripple themselves, or back down and look weak. There's no winning outcome because they chose a battle they cannot win. If I were advising Caitlin, I'd tell her to push even harder, wear the NBC blazer to WNBA games, do live segments for the Today Show from the arena, force the issue, and make them look absurd. Expose the control tactics, because the only way this changes is if fans and sponsors revolt strongly enough that the league has no choice but to yield. Kathy Engelbert must realize modern athletes are independent brands. The creator economy has transformed everything. You elevate your stars, you don't suppress them. This warning actually serves as a badge of honor for Caitlin. It proves she's outgrown the pond. She's a whale in a small pool, and the lifeguards are blowing whistles because she's making waves. The league as it exists is headed for disaster if they don't adjust immediately. You cannot win a fight against your own supporters. Make no mistake, the supporters overwhelmingly back Caitlin. Fans who filled arenas to watch her aren't going to side with league executives attempting to control her career. This could mark the beginning of the end for the current WNBA leadership if they don't act quickly. So here's the situation. The WNBA just issued a warning to Caitlin Clark for accepting a broadcasting role that pays her 50 times more than basketball does, and fans are ready to turn against the league over it. This might be one of the most self-destructive decisions in professional sports history. If you believe the WNBA is in the wrong and Caitlin should ignore this warning entirely, hit that like button and subscribe. Share in the comments if you'd boycott the league should they actually suspend her over this.